Welcome to Strong Arm Flix. I'm your boy T Flame, back at you with another live stream. And I got my boy Jeffrey Warfield on here. Thank you for joining me, my brother. And man, I'm
Man.
sorry. Last week, guys, no live stream, no content, no nothing. I've been going through a lot of stuff that demands my immediate attention, so it's been making it very difficult. And I'm having car troubles, and
Mm.
I work on cars, so it's kind of retarded. But the issue is that I can fix it, but it's the money that's an issue, and the fact that it's an
Mm.
older vehicle, older truck. So that is making it hard to get around to do certain things as well. So, but that's the least of my worries. It's just a lot of stuff going on, and stuff with me and my son, and his mother, and other stuff, and just man. But anyway, I noticed though that over the last week, I've noticed that 21 new subscribers, literally while I wasn't dropping any content. So you guys definitely gave back. You guys definitely showed me some mad love, and I appreciate that. To each and every one of you, I thank you a lot. Hard boiled. Hey, what's going on, my man? He said, "Here we go."
Hey, you might want to
And
give Subjective a shout out to that also, because apparently he had a whole PS5 contest going from his last video, and he said the way to participate is to sub to is basically to sub to you, me, Bill J, and to him and two other people.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, damn it.
yeah, because I got a lot
Well,
of
I
it.
can't. I can't take credit for any of that then. And that's awfully cool of our boy, Subjective.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tyler. It's the first I've heard of it. I've missed a lot of content. I've missed a lot of shit over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And
yeah, me
either way,
too.
I appreciate the love. No matter how you subscribed or how you found this channel, I appreciate it. To each and every single one of you. I want to give a big shout out to the Movie Radar and Pilot Maverick, um, and Hard Boiled Entertainment. Eric, big shout out. Brandon Pittman, big shout out. That one Circles, that one Carlos, big shout out, fam. Um, and and a lot of other people too. But I just wanted to say what's up to all you guys in the comment section. I see you. And before we kick this off, man, I want to show a little love back, and I want to jump through each and every one of these comments real quick, because I've missed a lot, and you guys are here, so, and I kept you waiting. So let's start the show. Uh, let's see. I am. What's that say? Am I too soon? I'm too soon. And that's funny because I started the live stream late, so he thought he was soon. That's a comment from BVS when the Flash was in the future, and Bruce was seeing him.
Yeah.
Think, am I too soon? I'm too soon. And he said, "You've always been right about him. Fear him." These guys, man.
Yeah.
The Movies Radar, Ledger Joker, and here we go.
Yeah.
I remember that. I love that shit. And then let's see. Hard Boiled Entertainment, Eric. Here we go. Yup.
Yep.
That one, Carlos. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo.
Hard Boiled. Hashtag into the Snyderverse. Damn right.
Yep.
Pilot Maverick. My man. That one, Carlos. We got you, my man. Hell yeah, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And he said, "Yep." And to Nerdy in many ways. Yep. Shout out to Nerdy in many ways as well. And Big Mouth, Eric said. Thanks, T-Flame. Hashtag into the Snyderverse. He said he's watching Tremors right now. Classic. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, I think that's all of them for now. But so anyway, I wanted to start off, obviously. Let's start off with a little bit of air cut shit. And wow, what is there not to talk about? I know that I haven't talked out loud about a lot of stuff that you guys have already seen. There's probably been 20 fucking people on the internet, that have done videos and YouTubers and shit like that about all the stuff going on with the Ayer cut that David Ayer is revealing. But you haven't heard it from me. I have, retweeted shit, stuff like that, tagged certain people, trying to bring it to other people's attentions here and there. But for the most part, I haven't really spoke on it. So David Ayer just started, going crazy on Twitter last, week and a half. And so much shit has been revealed about the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. And I know a lot of you knew this and some of you didn't. I was one of the few that didn't. And I know quite a bit about David Ayer's cut. I mean, quite a bit. And, there's quite a lot was reshot. Even the scenes that you've seen of Jared Leto's Joker in the 5.5 minutes in the theatrical cut that you do see his Joker, almost all of that is reshoots due to the studio by the studio's request. So you gotta think about it like this. There's gonna be scenes that are similar to what his true scenes were, but more depth to it. That maybe a 20-minute scene, they might have cut down to 30 seconds and then brighten the colors. And then instead of him saying it with a serious look on his face, he could be going, and laughing, or they could have him telling a fucking joke and he's not supposed to be telling a joke. Like just random weird fuck shit, you know what I'm saying, that they did. And David Ayer pointed this kind of shit out with even in the trailer. By time, I think it was trailer 2 or 3, official trailer 2 or 3 of Suicide Squad came around, they were already had already reshot damn near over half of the movie at the studio's request. And even that scene that they advertised heavily with the Joker, I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad. That shit, according to David Ayer, that's even a reshoot. He said that was a real scene that was dark. It was serious. The colors weren't all bright and shit and oversaturated. And that it was a terrifying, supposedly a terrifying, long, in-depth, played out scene that they chopped and crammed together, added extra hip-hop music, added fucking bright colors, oversaturated it, and just fucking chopped it into fucking jump all around. Yeah. That is one thing that specific scene, I always thought that was one of the only scenes that was uncut, And apparently, no, that was changed too.
And someone actually pointed this out on Twitter, where we go into the helicopter scene. Like someone pointed out that they ADR'd some of the dialogue, they didn't, like when, like as he was pointing out some scene.
I remember this
that was coming out, and he was like, "Oh, like he's not saying like when like in the movie you're hearing da da da, but Joker's mouth is completely closed, and then when." When Joker says it's just you and me, babe, like he pointed out that he's saying something completely different. So even in that,
because they had a short amount of time, to reshoot that movie, rework that movie, retool that movie at Warner Brothers' request. That's where it started. Like I said, Zach is the one that deserves more than anybody his cut. Zach's the one who got screwed the hardest. You know what I mean? And on top of that, what happened to him was a tragedy. So it's a whole different situation. But if you just take a step back and think about why we all started this. We started this for creative integrity, for directors, creative integrity, and creative control in DC and in specifically the DCEU. So
Mm-hmm.
at the the old regime of Warner Brothers, they freaked out due to critics and certain hardcore dedicated Marvel fanboys that just don't know comics, and they're not even necessarily Marvel fans. A lot of them, like, they're just like, they really like that Disney-fied shit, like, that MCU version of Marvel, and most of the
Yep.
movies I like that are Marvel, Disney ain't got a fucking thing to do with, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Spawn, the first Hulk, the Incredible Hulk,
Yep.
mainly with Edward Norton. You know what I mean? Just,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that is, Iron Man 1, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Winter Soldier was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Didn't like a lot of other shit, but that's just my opinion. I don't mind if you guys like it and watch it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a difference of opinion. It doesn't mean that we've got to be mean to Marvel fans in any way or nothing like that. I won't do that shit. If I get into it with somebody, it's because they are just an asshole. And it doesn't matter what you like. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And there's a lot of assholes out there to the DCEU. And what they did was they caused such a negative backlash reaction to BVS that David Ayer, he even played ball with these fuckers. See, Zach was
And
more difficult. Zach was
yep.
more like, no, I've changed enough. I'm not fucking doing it no more.
Yep. And
David, David initially, and like I said, no shade at David Ayer. I like David Ayer a lot. I think he wasn't given a fair shake, him or Jared Leto Joker. But David, in the beginning, he was lying for the studio. He was saying that it was his cut. He reshot his own fucking movie. So the movie that we seen the first trailer for that was damn near the Ayer cut, that wasn't even the true Ayer cut. And then they took his movie and then they went behind his back and reshot that again and hired a company that cuts trailers and shit and music videos, and they had them edit a fucking serious DC fucking film, blockbuster film, and it turned out like a fucking trailer. The whole movie was like an advertisement rather than an actual movie.
yep. And they even changed the logos, if you think about, because
Yeah, the
in the
colors and
first
all that
trailers,
shit.
because in the trailers, like the first logos, they were like black and grayish
Yeah,
and really like toy like. But in the movie, it's actually like this rainbow tricks are for kids like color scheme.
yeah, yep. And I'm happy you pointed that out, Jeffrey. And I told you that I was so down for Suicide Squad, bro. Like, I didn't know what to expect with BVS. I love Man of Steel. Going into BVS, I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird though. Like, why are they gonna fight? And it's so serious. It's not what I expected. But I went into it excited, but just thrown off. Like, damn, I wonder what I'm gonna get. I wonder what I'm gonna see. And when I seen the movie, I was like, oh fuck yeah, I like this shit right here. I was like, I got a few issues, like, there's a couple of scenes I feel like are missing or something is just out of context with it. I said, other than that, and I watched it again. I'm like, I love this shit. Then the extended edition, or not the extended, the ultimate edition came out, and I'm like, yes, this is what we were missing. This is it, baby. This is peak pinnacle fucking DCEU dark, serious, down to earth shit right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then after that, when Suicide Squad, they followed up BVS with I'm like, what the is the first live adaptation of Suicide Squad ever gonna look like? I'm like, oh my god, like it was with my brain just thinking about all the possibilities, what we were gonna get. And then I heard the Joker was a part of it before they'd even cast Jared Leto yet. And I was like, ooh, bro, I was so geeked, bro. And then that first teaser ever for the Joker, and he's like, I'm just gonna hurt you. And bro, I swear to God, man, I was throwing shit. I was like, yeah, I was throwing shit when I seen that trailer. It threw my everything, man. And I was just so excited, man. And you can tell that the Joker was cut so much because in the first two trailers, the sneak peek and the first official trailer, they focused so much on the Joker that you'd have thought the whole damn movie was about the Joker.
Yeah.
And they even gave away the fact that the Joker was in the third act initially with a serious dark role, because in the trailer near the end of the first official trailer, or was it the sneak peek? But either way,
Yeah.
you hear Captain Boomerang say, "You know what they say about the crazy ones," and right while they're like getting ready to go up to the Enchantress and shit, but they're like loading up, everybody's getting ready, and she's like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jared Leto's Joker's like, "Ah, ah, ah," and you could tell it's a laugh that's not in the movie, because you can tell,
Yeah.
you really listen to it. You can tell it's him clearly. It sounds very similar to the last that he does in the theatrical cut, but it's different too. It's more drawn out, it's more dark, and it sounds more serious. And that laugh and the timing that they inputted it into the trailer gave away the fact that that dude had a heavy role in the third act of the movie, where he was in the theatrical cut, was nowhere to be found in the movie. Nowhere to be found.
And
So go ahead, Jeffrey.
And really, I'm just thinking about this comment that David Ayer made today. Like, someone, like some dude came in and replied to him saying, like, and I quote, "Is it okay for us to talk about this bad movie?" And and David Ayer replied with the gif with the nerdy black dude going like, no, this is not the movie we're talking about.
Oh man, I didn't see that neither. But
so yeah, like really right now, David Ayer is just living. Like he's going at the hater.
He's going at him hard, and that's
now.
and that's something else I wanted to talk about. Initially, David Ayer was very apologetic and all this shit to the not even a month and a half ago. Not apologetic necessarily, but like he was just, and I mean, we talked about this in a couple of our last live streams. Just the other side, I like to say, I've said that before. The haters, they were just in Twitter Puritans and SJWs and feminists. They were just coming at David Ayer hard as over Harley Quinn and saying all this jacked up shit and talking shit about his Jared Leto's Joker and saying that Harley Quinn was great, but you sexualized her and you zooming in on her ass and all the you should be ashamed of all this bullshit, right? And he's sitting there apologizing and saying that, just still taking the heat, for the version that the studio put out. We don't even know if them kind of scenes involving Harley Quinn, of course she's going to have a couple of, sexy like scenes, but the specific scenes that they had with rap music playing and her like, and all this with just the bra on and stuff like that while she's changing, the whole military stops and looks. I guarantee you that was fucking reshoots by fucking, what's dude's name? Jeff Johns and Warner Brothers. I guarantee you that scene was added in there for comedy. Because David Ayer came out and I'm happy that David Ayer finally grabbed his pair of cojones and stood up to these motherfuckers on Twitter, these assholes, these sitting there talking about oh well, just the fan base is just so toxic, and Harley was a great character, but she wasn't done justice in your movie. And he was basically snapped and was like, bro, you just went on a rampage this one day. David Ayer was going off on Twitter, bro. And he was like, said something about, I'm tired of being judged for a movie that was chopped and got this Edward Scissorhands treatment. My movie has still yet to be seen. Like, he was just snapping, bro. And just and then fans that were actually fans of his, he was just answering. All of a sudden, he just got pissed, started answering everybody's questions and revealing so much shit about his cut of the movie, bro. And and yes, the movie Radar. Me and Jeffrey talk about that all the time. Great comment. Harley Quinn is a sexual character. She always has been. When she was created, okay, initially in Batman the Animated Series, all right, in the mid 90s, roughly, she was created. That was her original run. That's how she came to be. Okay. You can
Yep.
go back and watch that, and there's episodes where she's got like jokes that teenagers and kids would fly right over their head. And if you're an
Yep.
adult and you go back and watch it now, like very adult sexual jokes, but they're so like the way that they're put out there, it's not like boom, slap you in the face. It's like go right over your head type shit. You
Yep.
know,
'Cause
and they got her in there doing flips and stretching and saying weird shit, always trying to, she's there trying to kill people for the Joker. Innocent people. She don't give a, there's a scene where she's like, it like fell into this flat. She gets up and starts dancing. She's got pie all over, and she's looking at the Joker, and she's like, "You want to try some of my pie pudding?" or some shit like that. Like there's all kinds of shit. And okay, and my point is that is the toned down. That's the most toned down cartoon version of Harley ever, and that shit is super explicit, bro. And it's crazy to me that after this happened, it spawned her own comics as she showed up in more episodes because she was so popular. Then eventually, she got her own fucking clothing line and all kinds of stuff. And that's where she started though. And what's crazy to me is that all these people, here's the problem with DC and the DCEU, is that the people that talk shit, okay, you go look at their profile, there'll be a fucking picture of Spider-Man or Captain America, and I'm not talking shit about them. I like Spider-Man. Okay, I like them characters. I might not like what the MCU is doing with some of them. Some of them I do. But my point is, you look at the ones that talk shit. They're casual moviegoers that like that Disney-fied version of Marvel shit.
Yep.
And they don't know shit about the comics of Spider-Man, the origins of Spider-Man, the origins of these characters that they even watch. They like the cinematic Disney-fied version of the shit that they're being given, okay? And with their own shit, they don't even know, but they don't care. They're over there winning right now at Disney and Marvel, okay? So they don't know comics and the source material. So then they want to, they want to jump over here to our shit, and they don't know the comics or the origins, and they're just like, they talk shit. Well, he shouldn't be like that because of this, and he shouldn't kill. Batman shouldn't kill. Harley says, "Nah, that's wrong. She's sexy. Why is she?" It's like motherfuckers ain't never picked up a comic in your motherfucking life. Like, shut the up, straight up. Like, can that shit, bro.
And really, this is something that I have the issue with the whole sexual thing. Like, I'm gonna go and take a part at the old Disney Renaissance, right? It's still gonna be relevant to really the issue that people are saying, oh, Harley Quinn should be sexy. Dude, have you not seen Aladdin? Like, you have this whole dark storyline of Jafar, a grown man wanting to marry at least a girl who's at least teenager to early 20s, and it really, that's like a very dark thing for Disney to do, but really no one bats an eye for that in the current generation. Like, to me, that's hypocritical.
Yeah, and you know what, Jeffrey? And I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. To me, it's so, I don't want to say mind blowing, but it's just so nice and so different to hear someone your age, speak about, not everybody. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of the, people nowadays around your age bracket, not necessarily your age, but around that age bracket, maybe a little younger even. For the most part, clearly not you, but they're just so fucking sensitive anymore nowadays. Like, dude, like, man up and handle your shit. And it's like, people are so sensitive nowadays that it's like They get offended by watching some shit they don't gotta watch. You know, if you don't like some shit, oh, turn it off. No, they get so offended and have, you know, that they got to get on the internet and search up motherfuckers, and then they get on there and they're sitting there. This is it's created. Oh, so this is this guy. This is the director. Let me look them up. Okay. Oh shit, they've got 10 fucking social media accounts. All right, but they only use this one only on Thursdays and Wednesdays at this time. Okay, so you know, and then they dedicate all this time, then they get on there so they can say, you sexualized Harley Quinn and you're terrible and you shouldn't make another DC movie. Like, really, bro? Like, that's what you're doing with your life, with your time? Like, I don't spend time attacking people for liking things that I do not like. And most normal motherfuckers don't do that shit. It's like, you know, now don't get me wrong, I will fight for something that I love that's being attacked or being critiqued in a negative manner all day long, and that's my God-given right to do so. But I just don't understand the people that do this shit. Like, you know, and another thing is too that was pissing me off. Now we've got, and I seen this on David Ayer's shit, we've got people, females, with in high-profile positions, with large followings, critiquing one in specific, critiquing David Ayer, while there's all these SJWs and Twitter Puritans and shit attacking them, which are really nobodies with burner accounts and fake profiles, or if it is real, they've got literally less than 90 followers, and you know, and they act like they're the center of the universe, and what they say is golden. But there's this one person in specific, and she would not respond to me because every comment, boom, every time she talks some shit to David, I told her flat out, you're lucky this man's even talking back to you. I told David Ayer, and I don't care if my heroes, I don't care if my heroes respond to me or not. I do this for them. I don't need I don't need them to kiss my ass. I'm one person out of millions, and millions and millions that enjoy their work, that you know what kind of person they are. When they post something, I know a little bit about their family life and the kind of person they are. And if they were a piece of shit person, I wouldn't be down with them. Okay, they don't gotta give me no reward by commenting or responding to me or retweeting my tweet. None of that shit. I don't do this shit for clout. Okay, and this girl, man, I was on her head, boy. I was on her head, bro. I was on her ass, and she finally shut up. Because I told her, you sound like, I told her, and because she was trying to talk about toxicity within the people that follow David Ayer and Zack Snyder. And I told, you know, and I broke it down, and I just told her, like, you know, honestly, like I've always said, and I'm preaching, every fandom has a toxic side. And, and no fandom has done what this fandom is doing. You do not have the right to lump me and millions of others into this category. You sound ignorant, and you're older than I am. And I'm goddamn it, and I'm pretty grown, all right, and so you know, and you're a woman as well, and you're not helping at all. So if you don't understand a couple of these things, then you need to just shut the fuck up, flat out, because anytime you're gonna jump on here with your large ass following and bring 100 people with you because you said something and they like your shit and they're following you, that they're gonna type some bullshit on purpose. That's exactly how we got into this mess and lost the DCEU, because of in places like Rotten Tomatoes, because of Metacritic, because of motherfuckers like that, okay? And them getting on there and just fucking review bombing the shit out of everything DCEU. We got into this mess because the studio overreacted to that shit. So so people, when you see people doing this, yes, keep it. There's a manner that you can speak to people without getting rude and vulgar, and still speak your mind and shut their ass down, okay? In a polite and respectful manner. If it gets to a next level, then it gets to the next level. But for the most part, don't get nasty with people. But guys, you have got to start coming out when you see movies that you genuinely love, when you see reviews for shit that you genuinely love, coming out, and you seeing all these assholes on there. You've got to combat these comments. You do, because if you don't, these studio guys that at the top, they don't know any better. They hop on, And holy shit, there's a fucking 350 comments says this movie fucking sucks. Holy fuck. You know what I mean? That's all it takes right there. So when you see your directors getting attacked, and you know, to where they're not even confident in their own work anymore, to keep fighting with the studio, to protect their own creative integrity, that is what we're fighting for.
Yep.
And we've got to change this narrative, one way or the other. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yep, and really right now, if you're looking at Twitter right now, we're back in 2016
All over
already.
again.
Yep, where I literally saw this article saying, "Yay, we're going to get the Snyder cut," and then it was like a dash, and the dash after the dash, it literally said, "Yay, the Snyder cut is coming," but quote, "does it need to be serious?" And I'm like, bro, like, like you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, Jeffrey, I know what you mean.
Like, people are bashing Justice League again, even though it hasn't come out yet.
And look at me, and this isn't right here. This is the most important thing of all. We're going to talk about a lot of things, you know, in general, in this live stream, in the next couple of live streams, in general, Jeffrey. But the main thing is that I need you to get people to understand, if they don't listen to me, is that when this Snyder cut, right?
Yep.
When this Snyder cut finally drops, right? 2021. In 2021, it doesn't matter what the release date is, when this movie finally drops, okay, Jeffrey, I need you to make sure that around the time that this movie drops, because you can already see it, dude, we're a year away from this shit, and you already see this narrative. That means that's a strong-ass narrative. It doesn't need to be dark and serious. Here we go, 2016 all over again. We're not doing this shit, because I'm telling you right now, AT&T and HBO Max are on our side. But at the same time, everybody answers to somebody. Everybody's got a boss, okay? Now, if these people, these fucking haters, do like they've done successfully before with BVS, with Justice League, with Suicide Squad, with damn near Man of Steel even was mixed reviews, but that was oh my God, that was a masterpiece. But what I'm saying is, if we let these haters team up, bro, and review bomb the Snyder Cut before it drops, while it drops, after it drops, and tweet their ass off, talking shit, trying to outdo us, they're gonna make sure that will ensure that we don't get a sequel.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what happened. And look how many years we had to fight to get this back. This thing, to us, this is the holy grail, like Zach posted. I've been sitting down and trying to figure out what all these cryptic posts have been that Zach was posting. And something happened. We're getting our Snyder cut, but like when he did the one about the Superman has yet to rise, clearly that was and you figured that out, Jeffrey. Even though we might not have been exact on the date, me or you, like you said, it was about Henry Cavill. He's going to be the one to announce it. And basically, that's what the it was, man. You know?
Yep.
But the thing is, though, is that the other posts, and it being the Holy Grail, everything he says is cryptic, okay? And we still have not figured out what the old posts were. Now, I know a lot of people think that it doesn't matter because we know the Snyder Cut's coming out. It's been officially announced. We got our release date. We got our everything, okay? But we cannot lose sight. It's still not the end of the road, people. I know it feels like it is. I know it feels like a giant win, and everybody's winded down, and everybody feels like they can just relax and not worry about it no more. Do not get in that mindset, people, because the second you get off of your shit, you don't see this false narrative bullshit. You don't see all these articles that have came out talking about Warner Brothers and AT&T give toxic fandoms a reason to what did it say? A reason to be assholes, basically, because it's sending a bad message and all this stuff. And then you see these people on Twitter attacking our directors, talking shit about our stuff. It's the same narrative since 2016, and these people will never see it. The big studio executives, they'll never get it. They'll never see it. They don't want to sit down and think about it long enough. But guess what? If there's money to be made, then they will do some shit. They will put some shit together, and if we can give them a positive shine like we did with everything in general, then they will do it. And we have got this down there, gonna do it. But if you just want the Zack Snyder cut to be one and done, that's it. Is that, I mean, when you see it, you know how it's gonna end. It's gonna end for more. It's gonna end for more. And are you gonna be, I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's a giant win. Zack deserved this. Okay. I would argue that this fandom deserves this.
Yep.
Just as much, not just as much, but almost as much as Zack Snyder does. And but my thing is just that, is that what you want? You want this to be just, it drops, that's it. And then DC keeps going into a completely different direction with this bullshit, with shit like getting Birds of Prey and just, you know, random knockoff movies that don't got to do with the DCEU, and they're just still throwing shit at the wall, green lighting projects no one can ask for. Is that what you guys want? Because if we keep getting relaxed and just chilling and letting these motherfuckers talk shit, not checking them, not countering their bad comments, their bad reviews, and all that, that's exactly what will happen all over again. Just like Jeffrey said, this is like 2016 all over again. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And Bill J just hopped up on the chat.
Oh, yep. Hold on.
But
where is he? What up, Fatal J?
Hey, Fatal. But yeah, like for real, like when Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, like I'll be at the front lines defending. You bet that I'm a bet money I'm gonna be at the front lines on Twitter defending.
You bet your ass I'll be right there with you, my man. This
shit
ain't over till it's over, baby. You know what I'm saying?
And really, this is something that Jay Leva said. He said someone was basically going off on like someone who was basically going off on Twitter saying that it's not complete. It needs 30 million to be done. And then Jay Leva comes in and it says, "No, dude, let me give it to you straight. The reason why it's going to cost an extra 30 million, he said the original photography is done. The reason why they're going to be doing additional photography, and the reason that for that extra 30 million is because, and I quote, and I'm actually quoting this part, HBO Max wants to add more stuff to Zack Snyder's Justice League."
Ooh!
So it's not gonna be a one and done. And someone actually pointed this out for HBO on HBO Max for Justice League in the DCEU category. It says for only being shown for a limited amount of time, meaning that Zack Snyder's Justice League is not going to be a one and done.
Right.
It is going to.
I know that, but at the same time, Jeffrey, you can never be too careful.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about that. A part of me understands that, knows that. But what I'm saying is, you remember all the promises, and I'm not saying that AT&T is the old regime at Warner Brothers, but think about, rewind the clock to 2015, okay? All the shit that was already greenlit and promised, bro. We had a whole universe set up before us that was supposed to be guaranteed to happen. Zack's whole vision was greenlit. Dates were put out there. It was put on, what is it? Not a Rotten Tomato. What is it? Damn it, I can't think of the name of it. We always talk about it. Right now, it says, remember we were looking at it about the Snyder Cut coming out, but then they said anybody can get on there and edit it or something.
Oh,
That movie site or whatever it is.
yeah.
Why am I having a brain fart right now? But my point is though, is that we've had all these projects greenlit before. We've had the entire visions greenlit, dates put out there, official dates put out there. All this shit, and all it takes is a bunch of motherfuckers a bunch of motherfuckers ganging up. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
and they will take the movie before it gets off the fucking ground. And what
Yep.
we're gonna see, we're like, oh, well, I thought that was gonna be amazing. It was just okay. Oh, you know why? Because they listened and they get on the internet. These people, they don't know what they're doing, bro. They're just rich. They're at the top. And they're like, if there's money to be made, we'll do some shit. But when they get on there and they see bad review after bad review after bad review after bad review, they don't know, because them uppers are just about money. They don't even, they pay and hire people like Zach to know about these characters, to create these characters, to get this off the ground. They don't really know shit about it. They're just like, well, we got the bread. But everybody hates this shit.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And they didn't know that, they didn't look into it enough. And by the time they had pulled the trigger, it was too late to go back. They had already changed the entire direction of shit and over a lot of people, including a lot of fans. And what I'm saying is we got to make sure, no matter how set in stone this shit is, that they don't that nobody can back these guys into a corner to stop this shit from happening. The whole vision. I want the whole vision out there. I want the sequels, the spinoffs. We deserve it. If any fandom deserves it, we deserve it. Marvel, MCU, Disney has had their MCU. They've had their day in the sun. They've had shit. They've had their, leave us alone. It's our time. It's our time to shine. It's Zach's time to shine.
Yep. And really like people say that Twitter as is a war zone pretty much for opinions. Like when Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out and you have people attacking that movie and the people defending that movie, you bet that you haven't seen anything yet about a war zone on Twitter.
Right.
Yep. Because that's really gonna spark a lot of conversation. Like it's really gonna be a war zone between because really like with the
Watchtower War Zone, baby.
Because with the Snyder campaign alone, we've had like we had a 2.5 year war with MCU fans and with bloggers.
Yep.
But now with the Snyder out and officially coming, people should notice that they've been very aggressive lately, and I mean, like, this goes back to the whole we're back in 2016 thing. Like, they're aggressive, like we're back in 2016 again. So, and people are saying, and the funny thing is that people tell us to move on. Well, right. Look in the mirror.
Right, exactly. Look in the mirror. And I just wanted to tell people that, I have been, and I'm not trying to sound like, what's the best way to word this? I'm not trying to sound like I'm trying to get like some kind of clout or be like, see, I told you so, or shit like that. But it's like the Snyder Cut, I've been following a long time. I've been a part of this shit before it was a thing a long time. Like, just like the Carlos Digital. Shout out to him as well. What up, brother? But this air cut shit, I swear to God, like I was like the third person ever, like ever, before it was even a thing, before the second debacle even happened, bro.
You're
You know what I'm saying?
frozen.
And
You're
oh,
lagging.
hold on. That's what I get for. All right, am I good? Am I good?
Hold up in the comments. You're
Am I
still
still
lagging. Still lagging.
Somebody is messaging me. That's what's going on.
Mm.
Hold on.
So
Is it still lagging?
yeah. So have you heard about this whole Kathy Ann versus Grace Randolph thing?
Yep, and that's why it's in the title, my man. Bro, oh my god, I'm so happy you brought it up. So anyway, real quick, let me end out our last topic so we can jump into this real quick. My point is the battle for creative control for the DCEU is, my friends, no matter whether it's Ayer cut or Snyder cut, we need to unite. Those of you that are only on board for one or the other, I'm not saying that there's many of you, but there is some of you out there. That's got to stop. That's got to stop right away. You are DCEU. Flat out. You might not know it. You are DCEU, my friend, my man, my friend, my woman, whoever you may be. Okay? And we need creative control for the DCEU. Okay? Because the shit that's being done, okay, yes, we've gotten AT&T to finally step in and say, hey, Warner Brothers, they can't handle their shit. Am I lagging?
You did for a little bit.
So they had to step in and tell Warner Brothers, you're not handling your shit. You're not handling your fan base. There's money to be made. You guys made a big mistake, and none of you motherfuckers seem to care. Okay? So my thing is that we are DCEU, baby. Okay? And the fight for creative freedom, it doesn't end until you see that in theaters. And even then, if that shit ain't what it was supposed to be, then you know some bullshit done went on behind the scenes. Quit thinking things are just a coincidence. Quit listening to assholes that tell you that you're crazy. Oh, well, just because it's in the trailer doesn't mean that it's going to make it into the movie. That doesn't make you a movie expert. Yeah, that is very true. But at the same time, quit being so motherfucking naive, bro. To you motherfuckers saying that shit, you know? And just don't. You guys, the fight is not over. You need to fight even now. Whatever Twitter events that go on for the Ayer cut, it is time to campaign for the Ayer cut. Flat out. And we need to go just as hard for the Ayer cut. Flat out.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ayer cut, you know why, guys? Because the Ayer cut, the order that it was released, okay, was after BVS, but before the Snyder cut. So the Ayer cut needs to be released prior to the Snyder cut. Now, I'm not saying that it deserves to be. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that David Ayer's shit should be released before Zack Snyder's. What I'm saying is, in chronological order, if you are for the DCEU, and the fact that how much David Ayer respects Zack, and that he's the only director that tried to create and build with Zack and not do his own fucking thing, show him some respect, people. Show him some goddamn respect, okay? And when you see people attacking them, I seen you, Amit Prasad. He said T-Flame needs the mother box tech to improve his Wi-Fi reception. LOL. But I'm just saying, people, when you see these people attacking David Ayer, you need to defend him just like we did Zack, okay? So the battle for creative control is never over, okay? It's never over. Do not give up, and please stand up. Now, on to our next topic, Jeffrey. Go ahead and start that off with which kind of plays off our last topic for creative control, because apparently even Kathy Yan, as much as I didn't care for okay. Apparently hers was tampered with too. And
Yep.
I already said I was the first person saying this shit, bro. I know you know this, Jeffrey. You
Yep.
remember when it first came out? I was the first person saying why they brought in the John Wick director.
Yep.
Wasn't I, Jeffrey? You got to give that one to me.
Yeah, you
And
were the first.
everybody was on my head, boy. They're like, bro, the movie just wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't reshot. It didn't get, you know, blah 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 blah. You know, and they were right, but I was also right because at the end of the
Yep.
day, that motherfucking movie was always going to be mediocre because it's Kathy Yan directing it. The studio left Margot Robbie in control. She's an actor. Okay? That's what she does. She's not a director. She's not a script writer. She's not none of that shit. And that's no disrespect to her at all. Okay? But the way that they let this project get ran, from the minute it started getting, the minute they got it off the ground, it was doomed. It was doomed. There's too many young, unexperienced females on this project with no
Mm-hmm.
direction. No direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that is no disrespect to the strong female characters. I love Margot Robbie. I love Harley Quinn. Some of the other characters in the movie. I'm not a big fan of Kathy Ann, just saying. Don't hate her. I'll never disrespect her. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's just very young and inexperienced. And in my opinion, the studio was crazy as hell for greenlighting any potential blockbuster hit with a director such as Kathy Yan. It was ludicrous from the get-go when the information came out. And just what everybody thought was going to happen happened.
Well,
So, but anyway, go ahead, Jeffrey, and speak on. Go ahead and continue where we were about this cat fight and why and what Kathy Yan said between Grace Randolph and Kathy Yan.
now what I see with that, like this is why I've been saying on Twitter for the longest time. My number one rule is not to follow reporters. Like, no offense to
That's
Sean,
true.
no offense to guys like Sean O'Connell, but really for me, it's like more fun to
Hey, and
just
I
like
do
go
it. Hey,
down.
Jeffrey, and I do it. I do it sometimes too. So I'm not faulting them people, but Jeffrey's right. That's Jeffrey Warzone's way. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, and make he if that's how I know. If Jeffrey breaks some shit down, I know he knows what he's talking about. He don't play that rumors and gossip bullshit. Jeffrey don't. Jeffrey's a man, and that motherfucker's smart. Anyway, go ahead, Jeffrey.
So let's go into like the whole diamond plot point that Grace was this basically came ahead with the whole diamond pedophile plot point that was going on. So basically Kathy Ann, so from what I can remember, Kathy Ann said no, that's not
Yeah.
what was happening. It was originally supposed to be it was originally supposed to be a joke that that would go on to be, which was supposed to characterize who which was supposed to characterize Roman Sionis as like this
What up, Kevin?
like
Go ahead.
insecure crazy artist. And so and she said, and basically Kellyanne was like, yeah, no, that plot point, that whole diamond thing wasn't a plot point, it was really just a joke. And
Yep.
then
I seen that.
Grace came in and said, but I was the first person to report on this, and yada yada yada. And to me, it's like this, like really to all of the reporters, like when it comes to and basically and really, Kathy, he ended the conversation with this. Like, you're a
Excuse me.
reporter. You don't know the film business. You haven't been in the production of the film business. So really when it comes down to the discussion of reporter versus the person who actually was the film who actually was a part of the film process, let alone if that person is a director or not. Like, I'm going with the person who actually was a part of the filmmaking process all the way.
Right. Right, exactly. And just to add to that real quick, I believe 100%. And like I said, guys, I'm not a huge fan of Grace Randolph, but I've had no issue with Grace Randolph. Sometimes she's right with her scoops, sometimes she's wrong, other times she's just a dingbat, other times she's very enjoyable and likable. She has a lot of sides to her. And she has a very massive following. And she is one of the only people when she says she has inside sources, is one that I actually take serious. I will give her that. That
Mm,
doesn't mean that she's always right. That doesn't mean that she's always wrong. That doesn't validate the fact of her gossip and rumors and stuff like that. But what I will say, and this is, again, my opinion, is that I believe 100% that this diamond plot line with the D picks that was initially in her script. I don't give a damn what Kathy Yan says. I don't know whether it was a statue of him that had D picks on it, and he thought that they were like too small or whatever they said it was, okay, or whether it actually was D picks. I think that flat out that shit was in the movie and that she toned it down at the request of the studio, and that her cut was what was in the trailers after she had already toned that plot line down for the reasons that we already know. You know what I
right.
mean? At the request of the studio. And then after she did that, what we seen in the first couple trailers was her toned down version. Her Yan cut was the toned down version. You know what I'm saying? Even that.
Yep.
But then I think the studio, once it got closer to that time, that's when they brought in the John Wick director, used his background, like I've said since early on when people said I was crazy. They used his credentials as being an action, superstar fucking director. And, I guess he was relatively unknown, but he blew up fast, and that's what he blew up for. And they knew it, and it was a perfect cover. Yeah, we're just going to spruce up the action a little bit, you know. And that's when the studio wanted to admit out loud that Kathy Yan was a young, unexperienced director. That's when it was, oh, okay, well, So basically, the criticism that they were getting, granted, it was our criticism. That means they're still listening to criticism. They're still listening to people's fucking, you know what I'm saying? And that's scary because that could very easily work against us or in our favor. So that's why I was saying earlier, we really got to watch what the people are saying and doing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it could very easily turn and work against us. And I do believe, because there are scenes just alone, one that comes right off of mine, where Harley Quinn's like, boo, and goes like that, smashes her face into some shit. That was not in the movie. There was many other scenes like Harley
Yeah.
dancing on a stripper pole, real quick, and it wasn't like super sexual, but it was in one of the early on trailers, not nowhere to be seen in the movie. Okay. So my thing now, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, Jeffrey. You can go in. But what I was saying is that okay, now Kathy Yan wants to argue, and Grace wants to argue with Kathy Yan That shit was entertaining as fuck, and it made me laugh my ass off, dude. but at the but at the same time, though, that shit is irrelevant. The point is, if she says that her vision was interfered by the studio, then goddamn it, I believe her. Now, does
Yep.
that mean that I think that her version of the movie will make it any better than the version we've seen? Not necessarily. And it's a slippery slope. At the same time, that doesn't mean that every director that made a shit movie gets to come out with a different cut. Just because, well, he's doing it. No, motherfucker, it's not the same. That's not the same. That's not the same. Okay, so that's a slippery slope. We got to watch that. But at the same time, when she says that her vision was interfered with by Warner Brothers, why would we have any reason to doubt her? Whether you like her version of the movie, whether you like the theatrical cut, any of that shit, why do we have any reason to doubt her at all? We don't.
Yep.
You should not.
And
So therefore, I believe in that. And the reason why I say, and I'm not going in on this, release the air cuts next. That's it after that. Okay? You guys want to create a separate group for her down the road? Go ahead. But we've waited 4 or 5 years, so you guys can too. All right? But what I'm saying is, I support her because she came out and supported the air cut. She has respect for David Ayer, and I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I respected the fact that she respected David Ayer's work, David Ayer's vision, and came out, had the balls to come out and say, I'm sorry to hear that, David. I didn't know that. Same thing basically happened to me.
Yep.
So I'll say it one time, and other than that, I'm not on that bandwagon, but I guess release a fucking Yan cut, man. And I'm not saying it again. You guys want to bark down that tree? You can go ahead. All right. I'll chop the tree down for you. I'll stack it up. I'll wrap it in a neat little bow. I'll get a tractor or a truck or some shit, and we'll drive it on down the street and drop it off. All right. But
yep.
I'm just saying. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And really, like, this kind of goes into what the Invisible Man director put out. He said, and people tried to spin it as a whole negative thing, and you're probably gonna know what I'm talking about, where he said that
anytime
where he said he believes when he was asked about the Snyder Cut, and there was like this one article that said, the Invisible Man director doesn't want to see the Snyder Cut, and then the Invisible Man director just came out and said
Kevin?
No, and he basically came out and said no, that's BS. I said I think that every director's cut. I said that the director's cut of a movie should be the definitive version of that film, not a studio version, but the actual director's vision of the movie. And that's even what the Harley Quinn creators said when they were asked about the whole release of Snyder Cut shirt guy, that they immediately said, "Oh, see, they don't like you. They don't like you." Like one of the creators actually said, "No, dude, we want the Snyder Cut." Like
Flat out.
Yeah, like one of the people said that they even have like this whole like release of the Snyder Cut sign thing in his video game. So really, like, yeah, like if people from WB are saying like, yo, we want the director's version of a movie to be like the definitive version, then why not? So
Exactly.
And really, like what T-Flame said, if you want to go down that hole of saying, hey, release the Yan cut, hey, release the 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith, then go on ahead.
Yeah.
Like you do you.
Exactly. You know, and the thing is too is like, all right, that I want to get across to certain people that are on that tip is, you know, if the movie had not been tampered with to the extreme that it was tampered with, man, the Ayer cut or the Snyder cut, okay, no one would give a fuck. All right. You know, it'd be cool to see it, you know, if they came out with an extended edition, we'd be like, oh, cool. You know,
Yeah.
and everybody'd move on with their fucking life. They would. All right.
Yep.
You don't
'Cause-
spend 5 years, bro. You don't spend 4 or 5. You don't do that shit, bro. You do not spend that kind of time. You do not spend that kind of, arguing with these people that just hate everything DCEU, going insane while you're still trying to have a family life, a work life, life with your kids, friends. You just don't do that. Who subjects themselves for that amount of time to fight for some petty shit? Oh, there was like 3 scenes and like that aren't in the movie, man. And then there's
Yep.
like 10 cuts of a movie. Like, people don't get, like, dumb people don't get it. Like, bro, for the most part, okay, you've gotten what you were supposed to. See, you're just entitled now. You want to be an asshole because you don't get it, you don't understand. But at the same time, there's some people that do get it and understand and are just really fans of other work, and they want to see the best of that work. And I get that, but like I said, and that's fine. I have nothing to say to you guys, whoever you may be. But what I'm saying is, if you want to bark up that tree, that's fine. But you're gonna have to do that by yourself, or go find a group, which they're out there. There's a group out there. There's a group for everybody. More power to you. But we're not jumping on that train wagon. But you know what? Like I said, like he said, release that cut, whatever. But anyway, go ahead, Jeffrey.
But yeah, like for people who say, for the people on the other side who are saying that, who are saying that, hey, what about what even people even said that the whole Sonic thing was a win for toxic fans.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a win for the studio, and
Yes, it was.
and it wasn't even that toxic for the Sonic side anyway. They were just saying, yo, dude, they weren't saying. There were probably some people who were saying, oh, this movie is gonna be bad. This movie is gonna be bad and all that. But
Right.
but majority of the people were just saying, hey, we want you to, hey, we don't like that for Sonic design. We want you to change it to
And
be like,
yep.
to
And you know
really
what?
be more like Sonic. And really, that really helped out the box office numbers
Yeah,
because
exactly. It did. It did a
because
lot.
yeah, because even the director came out and said, I did not expect us to make that much money when the movie came
Yeah, they
out.
killed, bro. And I'm
So,
looking, and you know what, Jeffrey? They deserve every penny that they made. Simply, and look at, I don't know if you remember this, Jeffrey. Okay, I made an episode, not a live stream, an episode on Strong Arm Flix, and it was back a little bit around that time, and it said what Warner Brothers can learn from
yep,
Sonic.
I saw
Okay,
that.
I dropped an episode on it, but I'm not talking about the episode now. Now, after this, about a week after this episode, we did a live stream together. Me and you did, my friend. And
Yep.
I can't remember, there might have been more people on it than just me and you, but it was me and you too. Okay? And we talked about this then. And me and you talked about this. And apparently, Warner Brothers, unfortunately, they weren't listening. When I said, Warner Brothers, I hope you're listening and that you take note, because this is what could be happening for you. Okay? The fucking design for Sonic was trash. It was asinine.
Yep.
It was poop sauce. All right? Y'all listen to the fans. Okay? Which doesn't happen that often. Y'all went out, spent hella bread, had him redesigned from the floor up. Okay?
Yep.
Dropped another trailer. Put out them designs. Blew motherfuckers' minds. All right?
Yep.
Then the movie
And
comes out, and guess what happened? Guess what happened? Now,
they're
guess what
getting a
happened?
sequel.
Everybody came out and showed their support because you did that. And what company was it? Was it Sony or was it Universal? Who was it that had Sonic?
It was Paramount, and really
Paramount.
right now, and
Paramount.
really for an update for that movie, like it's so successful now that it's confirmed. It was confirmed a few days ago that they're officially doing a Sonic sequel. So
Wow.
think about
Wow. Nice, dude. You know,
yep.
and
So
that was my
really,
point. And I'm happy. And me and you, I swear, Jeffrey, we are always on point. We are always right. There's times about little details. We might be incorrect about once in a blue moon, about little details that really don't matter. But overall, what we're saying is fucking truth, fact. Maybe the way it happened wasn't exactly, but the same sequence of events happened, and ultimately, what we were actually saying comes to fruition every fucking time. I don't think we've been wrong fucking once on Strong Arm Flix, bro. I don't think we've been wrong once on Jeffrey Warfield's channel, on our Twitter. Anything that we've been speaking about. That's what I'm saying. You guys want to listen and watch and follow real shit? Then it's these two guys right here, and also three more guys named Tyler from Subjective Reviews, Fatal J, okay, and Nerdy in Many Ways. Flat out, that's the squad. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Wes Ashley. That's my dog. I also want to give a shout out to Mad Max, Geeks and Gamers, all that shit. All right, that's the squad, flat out. All right, we put in bullshit on blast. Okay, we fight for what's right, creative freedom, creative integrity. We put on blast false narratives, and this guy right here, Jeffrey Warfield, predicts the fucking future. Rick and Morty type shit, dog. I mean, Doc and Marty. Come here, Morty, you little piece of shit.
Yeah, like really, like imagine a universe where they didn't do where Paramount didn't listen to the Sonic fans, where they said, yo, change the design. Like they didn't, like, think about this. They didn't say change the whole movie, change this and that about the plot line. They simply said change the design.
Yeah.
Now imagine if they didn't change the design.
I mean, but think about this. Or go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna save that. Go ahead, Jeffrey. You're on some good shit.
Imagine if the director came out and instead of saying, hey, we hear you, and we're gonna delay the movie to change the design, and instead he said something negative like, yo, you guys are toxic and we're not gonna listen to you guys. Like, that movie would have been a flop as is. Like, that movie would have been a flop. Would have flopped hard, but instead they listened to the fans, and not only did they get more money than they expected, we're also going to get a Sonic sequel. Like,
nice, that's beautiful. And look, man, I just want to take a minute to applaud them because apparently Jeffrey, they are listening. Despite what these haters say, Jeffrey, when me and you speak, yeah, I'm telling you, bro, they are listening. They're listening to us. They're listening to you. They're listening to me. And apparently, even if Warner Brothers tells me and you, Jeffrey, go eat it, guess what? AT&T's listening, bitch. And so is Paramount. or right?
Yep, Paramount.
No. Is it Paramount, right? That's what you said.
Yep,
Apparently, so my point is that the right people are listening, okay? And
yep,
the shit that we say, it's real simple. Money makes the world go around. It doesn't
yep.
matter if there's a lot of people that don't enjoy something when there's 6 times as many people that do. Just because the right assholes are in high profile jobs and want to get paid off by Disney fucking shills and shit on something, go ahead. But money speaks. Money speaks volumes. When BVS and Man of Steel made all that money and got shitted on, it was very, and Suicide Squad, very clear, very evident. Biased agenda against it, and you muckers are not seeing this shit because your eyes got shades on. You got blinders, fam. You got blinders over your shit, fam. You know what I'm saying? What's it matter if someone says, I don't like this, but you're motherfucking making almost $1 billion off each movie? They can say that all they want to, but don't that mean, man, maybe I should look into this shit a little bit, bro? Like, you know? BVS, the first DCEU movie ever, made almost 900 million. Almost. Yeah. Now imagine, now pause, and imagine had this movie had critics sucking it the same way Birds of Prey did. Imagine. Tell me this movie wouldn't have made $1 billion. Tell me it wouldn't have. There's no way that it would not have made that it would not have made. And on top of that, you got to cut it slack. How many movies did it take the Disney MCU to hit $1 billion a movie in phase 1?
For phase 1, it took until the first
phase
Avengers
2,
movie.
Basically. Yeah, basically, in the first Avengers movie is the first movie of phase 2, right?
Oh wow, I thought that was the end of phase 1.
I mean, you know what, Jeffrey? It could be, but I mean, me personally, I'm just saying I don't know that it's fact. All I'm saying is the way that I viewed it, because of the number of movies that I know for a fact are in phase 1 that led up to the Avengers movie, Jeffrey. I always assumed that Avengers was the beginning, the first movie ever of phase 2, because there was so many movies that led up to that in phase 1 before it came.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you could be right. I could be wrong on that. But either way, even if it's like you said, Jeffrey, the end of phase 1, well, guess what? How many fucking movies did it take to lead up to that movie?
And really, this is just something.
The second DCEU movie. And no, the first DCEU movie ever, because Man of Steel, this is what's crazy, Jeffrey. A lot of people don't know this, Jeffrey. Man of Steel, the third act, the very end of the movie was even tampered with by Warner Brothers.
Really?
And not to the extent that you think, just barely. The only thing, and Nolan was attached to Man of Steel, right?
Yep.
Did you know that there was initially, at the end of Man of Steel, there was a cameo for Martian Manhunter's CGI True Green Martian Manhunter form. And you can find this scene on the internet. And it's really hard to find. I mean, it's hard. I've looked and I can't even find it. No, I'm serious. And this is before they even decided that Harry Lennox was going to play this motherfucker. It was some random dude in a green mocap suit, and there was a woman holding the baby in a grocery cart going like sideways, and it's somewhere near it's after the third act of Man of Steel. But my point is, they even cut out a scene. The only thing that they cut from Man of Steel, other than Zach deciding, well, we're going to have to cut a couple of scenes shorter, but for the most part, everything's going to stay completely intact. The only thing the studio wanted to do, they wanted Man of Steel to be a standalone, to stand on its own 2 feet and not can worry about no universe. This is before they had confidence in greenlit Zach to do the universe.
Yep.
The DCEU. Okay, so this is why when you go into BVS, all right, this is why in Man of Steel there is such a heavy emphasis on Harry Lennox's character, and why in that scene you see him not back down. We were supposed to get a sneak peek preview at the end of the movie, not a preview, but a cameo showing right then and there with no context, no words, just showing Martian Manhunter pop up and save a woman and a small baby, and not showing who's playing him. So then when we go into BVS, it's still a mystery. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then it's supposed to make you curious in BVS and suspicious of Harry Lennox. Like, could this guy be Martian Manhunter? And then Snyder Cut confirmed, blows your mind.
Yep.
Oh my fucking God, Harry Lennox is, so-and-so. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's the way Zach intended it to be, and the studio just meddled and meddled and meddled and meddled and meddled.
And
So you didn't know that, Jeffrey. That's a little bomb on your head, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it does make sense if you really do pay attention to Man of Steel, where you have Zod taking over the screen saying you're not alone, and when it shows the military base, there's like this subtle shot of the scientists looking back at Henry Lennox's character and saying like, yo, is this your doing? Are these the Martians that you're talking about? So really, I think that was like a subtle hint, a little bit of spice to really lead into Martian Manhunter being revealed as Henry Lennox's character.
And Jeffrey, what I want you to do, my man, when we get done live streaming, it's going to be very difficult, but look up the Man of Steel. I don't know how you'd bring it up other than maybe typing in Man of Steel deleted scenes, but I'm telling you right now, bro, Man of Steel, there's and what irritates me, my man, is that we have still not gotten an extended edition of Man of Steel, a director's cut of Man of Steel, none of that shit. And I'm telling you, oh my God, it would be so beautiful. And I don't know for sure, but I heard there was even a hint in Zach's director's cut of Man of Steel about Aquaman saving Superman when he fell into the water.
Yeah, and
it doesn't directly say it, but in his director's cut, that something happens that's not in the film that gives you a hint. Oh shit, Aquaman might have saved his ass.
Yep, and
I can't remember the details though.
And actually, Jason actually confirmed that. Also,
oh, really?
In a MTV interview when he said I want to see the Snyder Cut. He said, yeah, there was a cut of really Aquaman, really the whales coming in, like where Aquaman he told the whales to save Clark. So really that was confirmation that Aquaman, even though he wasn't in Man of Steel, his presence was still in the movie.
It was exactly. And that's what I was saying, Jeffrey, is that it's not that Jason Momoa actually had a cameo in Man of Steel. What it was is that there was like the world building, it was known. How do I put this? I don't know how to explain it because I'm not sure on this part. At what point the studio decided that they wanted Man of Steel to just deal with itself first and see if that was successful and go from there. That is what they eventually the studio wanted. But at some point prior to this understanding that the studio came to, the idea from the get-go when they brought Zack Snyder in The idea was fresh off of the Dark Knight trilogy. They wanted Nolan, okay, to give them their cinematic universe, their version of the MCU. They seen how profitable it was. And they thought to
Yep.
themselves, well, we've just been doing Batman movies every 6 years for like 50 years. So maybe, we've got, all these characters. We do own DC Comics, and everybody likes that shit. So maybe there's more shit to do other than Batman every 6 years. And
Yep.
with Nolan sliding in characters in his Batman Dark Knight and Batman Dark Knight Rises and seeing the success of it and not knowing that Nolan was ready to give that shit up, the studio went balls to the wall. It was like, hey, we want our own version of the MCU. They're just getting off the ground. Mind you, at this time frame, the MCU, Disney MCU, was just getting off the ground. Everybody was real curious, excited about it. Hell, even I was. It's like, damn, this is the first time some like this has been done. Wow, this is dope. So that's what a little backstory. That's what was going on at that time.
Yep.
But what they didn't expect was for Nolan to say, well, after this trilogy, that sounds great. I see where you're coming from. There's definitely a lot of money to be made, but I'm not. You know what? And I think that Nolan had a feeling in his heart or a thought in his brain somewhere where he was like, these motherfuckers, they gonna try and combat this Marvel shit to the point where they gonna with some shit. They gonna mess some shit up. They gonna with some shit. I'm not. I did 3. You know what? It's time to move on. It's time to move on. And I think that's what it was with Nolan. That's when he was like, but you know what? They want my work though. They don't want no one else's. So who's the closest to my work and my genre that will be acceptable for the studio? So to leave me the alone that I like and respect, so I can go and do some other. So Zack Snyder.
Yep.
That's why Nolan is credited on Man of Steel. So right off a rip, even though the studio didn't let nobody know this, the studio knew what it was. The studio, from off rip, when Man of Steel was being filmed, they knew right then and there. We want our version of Marvel. That's what these talking heads that own at Warner Brothers was thinking, going through their head, the ones pulling the strings. So at some point, though, I think it was Nolan that probably suggested that he make this more of a standalone, because I think he knew they were trying to get involved too much and be too stupid, because I think in The Dark Knight Rises, I think the studio, for the first time, meddled a little bit, and they think they made him add characters into that movie like Robin, the background, Robin that never came to be Robin, and Catwoman. I think that they pushed him hard on The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
And he had great reviews, made them a lot of money, highly regarded in every aspect. And I think he knew, and I think that when they approached him once that movie was done, that he was like, I don't know about these motherfuckers, man. I know what they're going after. They're going after this Man of Steel. They're going after this MCU Disney shit. And this might even have been before Disney, but he, and I just thought I think Nolan just had foresight, bro. And he gave him back, because at some point the studio changed their mind throughout the Man of Steel movie and decided that they wasn't gonna go forward any longer with I think they just they wanted to see how it was gonna do.
Yep. And this is just like one thing that I kind of find hilarious. It really kind of has to divert a little bit. Like when people say that, like when the MCU fans said that they're doing things too quickly, like they're doing the DCEU too quickly. And I'm not saying that they're wrong on that count, but I would say like this, like, what can you say is doing a universe too quickly? Because even if you say like the Star Wars universe, and like that was done in and that was done in like 9 movies, even if you don't count the here even if you don't count the sequels, that's still 6 movies. So let alone the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which that universe was done in a trilogy, and for the Baleverse, like, to me, when people say that they're doing a universe too quickly,
Exactly.
like if you really think about it, like, are they really though? Like, do you really need a do you like to me it's like this. It's okay to make a if you wanted to make a universe in like 3 or 6 movies. To me, it depends on if you can do it well, which to me, Zach has done it very well. Man of Steel
I
comes
agree.
out, Man of Steel comes out. It was originally supposed to be a solo movie. They weren't confident about it being a start of a universe, but then BBS comes in. He ties in the third act of Man of Steel with the first act of BBS, and that ties in very well with the whole BBS plot. Then we go into the end of BBS with him saying with when with really the mother boxes being really close being awoken by Superman's death, and that really kicked off the Snyder cut. So really, like, even though it was like done in like 3 movies, 4, 5 movies, you can really tell that it's really been done very that Zach really did know where it was going to go from like beginning, middle to end.
Yeah.
And even like with David Ayer with his Suicide Squad, he said that the initial plan was it tying in to the Snyder Cut with them introducing Steppenwolf.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember that.
so
Damn, that's a
with
good point, Jeffrey. You're on point, man. Keep going.
with that, like really, like what I said, like it's okay for a movie either for a movie maker to make a short little universe, but when it comes to like fans, when it comes to people outside of the movie making universe, and saying no, they need to do this, they need to, like when someone says to me, they should introduce who you need to build up to Dark Side. And you already know what I'm talking about. But when someone says, "Yo, what the freak? You're going to introduce the Dark Side into a streaming service? No, you need to
Man,
do
that
this.
motherfucker, bro.
You need to do this and that." And there was like a little video
Yeah,
that
I
someone
know
put
all. I
out
know exactly what
where
you're talking about.
someone was like, and it showed Zach smacking him at the back of the head.
Oh shit.
And- but yeah, like for real, like you don't need, like, even with that, like seeing like you wanted to see Dark Side as really as Uxas beforehand, because that's the thing that not a lot of people understood from who are outside of this, who are outside of the hashtag
I'm
release
so
the Snyder, who are
I touched my fucking phone and it fucked everything up. Hold on 1 second, Jeffrey. Give me 1 second. My freezing. Hold on. 1 second, bud. All right, you back there?
yeah. So really, like, yeah,
Hold on.
like
You sound like a computer. Hold on. Hold on. All right, you're good now.
okay.
You're good now. Sorry about that,
So,
Jeffrey. I
okay,
fucked around and I got a couple of messages from my boss, and it fucked up the connection. God damn it. But go ahead, my man.
okay. So really what I was going to say was, like, for people who are outside the Snyder Cut bubble, like when Zach showed that first colorized version of Darkseid, people are like, that's not Darkseid, that's like a Kratos cosplayer and stuff like that. Like, they don't know that that's supposed to be Euxis, aka pre-Darkseid. Like,
Pre-Darkseid, exactly.
like us in the movement, we know, but the people outside the bubble, and this really does go to show how out of touch the haters are with the comics, where really they don't really know about the origin of Darkseid. They only know Darkseid as the enemy of the Justice League. So really, we know that Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to really, like, go into a little bit about the origins of Darkseid, because people actually pointed out, like, saying, because the haters even pointed out saying, yo, Darkseid doesn't use weapons, what's up with that? And 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 I actually pointed out, like, saying, yo, dude, read a comic. That's the Spear of Destiny. Like, this is
That's
not like, this is not Darkseid yet. You're looking at it like yo, he's Zach. Zach doesn't get Darkseid. Another reason why Zach should have left. Like, no,
there's another
dude.
reason why Zach shouldn't be in the DCEU. He don't get Darkseid. Man, shut the fuck up. And honestly, I believe my boy Jeffrey Warfield that we may, if Zach's full vision comes to fruition, thanks to AT&T and HBO Max, that eventually throughout this vision we will find out that the true Doomsday that Zach was referring to eventually evolved and was young Uxas and then became Darkseid.
Yep.
Okay?
Like,
That is what I believe 100% wholeheartedly, because of the fact that it makes sense from a grounded version of the grounded Nolan universe. Okay? And on top of that, the fact that Jeffrey Warfield has said it, and Jeffrey has not been wrong about a motherfucking thing yet, people. He ain't been wrong about yet. All right? So I'm telling you guys, tune in to this guy's channel. When he's on Strong Arm Flix, tune in and pay attention to this cat. Listen to what he's talking about, because Jeffrey knows. He knows what he's talking about. This is our watchtower, flat out. Go on ahead, Jeffrey. It's getting we're at almost an hour and 40 minutes. So go ahead and say what you got to say, Jeffrey. And then I want to go through a couple of our comments that we've missed. And then after that, I want to end the live stream out. And we will finish as we go. And also, I just want to say to everybody that's watching so far, at one point we had like 15 or 16 viewers. I just want to say thank you for tuning in to Strong Arm Flix. And as usual, please subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button.
You're lagging, bro. You're lagging.
Still there? Lagging.
Wow, it's bad, dude.
Can you hear me?
You sound like a robot.
That's the reason why.
You're messed up, dude.
Hold on. What about now, Jeffrey?
You still the same. You're frozen and you're a little bit messed up.
Hold on. What about now?
You're good.
Okay, man. How much was messed up?
A lot, dude.
So all of it. But that's another reason, like I said, it's getting towards that time. I've been going through tough times, my friends. I'm happy for each and every one of you before my internet fucks up. I'm happy for each and every one of you guys that still tune in to Strong on Flix, that show me love and support and encouragement. I'm happy and proud to have a friend like Jeffrey Warfield, Tyler Subjective Reviews, Fatal J, Nerdy in many ways. I am proud and happy to have friends like you. I don't deserve you guys, and I'm so happy to have you. I'm sorry my schedule was so hectic and jacked up. I wish we could collab like we used to. Them were the good old days. But either way, I love you, motherfuckers, each and every one of you. Even the people in this comment section, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm sorry that my internet is poop sauce. And I'm sorry that you guys got to put up with all this lagging and waiting and I'm late and all that. You guys deserve better. I'll try to do so in the future. But like I was trying to say before I computer glitched out of this world, if you're not subscribed to Strong Arm Flix, please subscribe to Strong Arm Flix. Please smash that notification bell as well so that when I drop new content, you can see that new content. And Jeffrey, what do you want to add real quick before we go? We got to wrap this up. I don't know how much longer my internet can last. And also, I have my son out there who I'm very excited to see and I miss.
But yeah, like just like a little quick update for the guys who are also subscribed to my channel. Like really, like I'm sorry I can't.
To my boy. Oh,
yeah, because really at the time right now, I can't really do videos on my own because I'm on the processing. I'm on the process of moving. So really throughout all of June, like with my normal setup gone, I'm not going to be able to be making any videos on my own, but I will be popping up on live streams. So really for new content, for new people who are in my channel, expect new content to drop around July. And yeah, we're like his Strong Arm said, really we're back in 2016 and really at this point you better get ready to really defend Zach as ever because you know that the haters are going to be bashing Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah.
And really
every opportunity they get.
And really there was this one person who tweeted out saying hey, yeah, this is gonna it's like one of these BBC guys and he basically said that he's going to be and viewing one of these quote #release the Snyder Folk. And so really like really with him saying folk, I'm immediately expecting that to be a trap. But really, like, let's hope that it's someone like Chris Wong or some of the Snyder Cut OGs, so that
Right.
really they can put the record straight.
True that, my man. And that was great and wise words by Jeffrey Warfield, aka Watchtower, aka Warzone, aka Watchtower Warzone. My dog. And I want to read through a couple of these comments real quick and end this out. And again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Strong Arm Flix. Please subscribe and please smash that notification bell. Zack Snyder understands comic book characters far better than those clueless idiots who only watch the animated series, MCU, and Nolan movies and think that they know everything about the characters. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, in my opinion, the MCU isn't even close to the comic books. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, bro. Okay, so they have no right to criticize, to talk, but they still do. And they talk right out their ass. Just every time they open their mouth, I just hear, that's it. That's it. All right. Here we go. Mr. Robot. Yep, that's when I was glitching out. Sound is good now. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Q, for I'm sorry I seen that late. Man, just had a long, stressful day. Trying to keep up with comments, my son, everything going on. Thank you, Q. Thank you for telling me that. Eric at Hardboiled Entertainment. It's an honor, T-Flame. No, Eric, it's an honor, man.
Yeah,
Honor to have you as a friend. Thank you. Man, I don't know what I'd do without you guys, man. Q. For the unity. For Darkseid. That's how I couldn't. Oh, there it is. He did say that. He did say that. Hold on. I couldn't not. I'm so sorry, guys. I could not do it. Oh, man. Q said, take care of yourselves. And let's see what we got here. Zebra Fett. Good stream, guys. Thank you, dog. Thank you, my man. Zebra Fett. Might be butchering your name, not sure. But thank you for tuning in to Strong on Flix. Thank you for commenting.
And to Z-Fed, I appreciate your earlier comment where you said I'm Oracle.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta end this shit out, and thank you for tuning in to Strong Arm Flix, and we will return soon. Please subscribe to me. Please subscribe if you're not already. Please subscribe to my boy Jeffrey Warfield if you're not already, and I will be bringing more DC and DCEU content, so please sub to me for all of that shit. Till next time, my friends.
Oh, wait. Peace.